Mumbai, the city that never sleeps.
But on one fateful night in 2019, it witnessed something that kept the entire city awake: the mysterious disappearance of a newlywed bride. A case so bizarre that even today, it remains unsolved. This is the story of Ria Mehta, a woman who stepped out on the night of her wedding reception and was never seen again. It was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. The Mehtas, a wealthy Gujarati business family, had spared no expense in organizing a grand wedding for their only daughter Ria. The groom, Arjun Malhotra, was a rising businessman from Delhi. Their arranged marriage was finalized just 6 months earlier, but everything seemed perfect. Smiles, laughter, and endless celebrations filled the air. But beneath the shimmering jewelry and silk-laden festivities, something felt off. On the night of May 12, 2019, as guests toasted to their future and the DJ played the final songs of the evening, Ria excused herself from the banquet hall, saying she needed some fresh air. She walked out and vanished. The reception ended at midnight, and the guests began leaving. It wasn't until an hour later that her absence was noticed. At first, Arjun assumed she was inside, freshening up. But when he went looking for her, she was nowhere to be found. Her parents panicked. Calls went unanswered. Messages remained unread.
Then came the chilling discovery: the CCTV footage.
The cameras outside the venue showed Ria stepping out onto the dimly lit street. Her heavy red lehenga trailed behind her. She stood still for a moment, glanced at her phone, and then walked toward the road.
And then, nothing.
The footage ended. The next frame showed an empty street. Ria was gone. The police were called. A missing persons report was filed. Initial searches in and around the banquet hall yielded no clues. There were no signs of struggle, no abandoned belongings, no bloodstains. It was as if she had disappeared into thin air. Detectives began their search, questioning everyone who had attended the wedding. Friends, family, hotel staff, even the valet who had parked the guests' cars. But no one had seen anything unusual. Then, the first red flag surfaced: Ria's phone records. Her last call was made at 11:47 p.m., just minutes before she stepped out. The call lasted less than 10 seconds, and the number she dialed was marked as private.
Suspicion first fell on Arjun, the groom.
Was this a case of cold feet? Did she run away? Or did Arjun know something he wasn't telling the police? His alibi was strong. He had been inside the banquet hall, surrounded by guests. But when officers checked his phone, they found something disturbing. Just hours before the wedding, Ria had sent him a cryptic message: "We need to talk. I don't know if I can do this." Yet, no one recalled seeing any hesitation from her during the ceremony. The vows were exchanged. The reception was lively. If she had doubts, she didn't show them. Then another lead surfaced. Ria's best friend, Anaya, told the police that Ria had been receiving strange calls in the days leading up to the wedding. Calls from an unknown number. The voice on the other end never spoke.
Just breathing. Heavy silence.
And then the line would go dead. Had someone been watching her?
Stalking her? Waiting for the right moment to strike.
3 days into the investigation, a taxi driver approached the police with a statement that changed the course of the case. He claimed that on the night of May 12, he had seen a woman matching Ria's description getting into a white sedan near the banquet hall. She wasn't alone. 2 men were inside the car. One was in the driver's seat. The other sat in the back, partially obscured. The woman hesitated before stepping in. The car then sped away. But here's where things took a darker turn. When police tracked down all registered white sedans in the vicinity that night, one of them stood out. A rental car. Booked under a fake identity. Paid for in cash. And by the time investigators traced its last known location, the car had been found, abandoned.
Born to assess.
The deeper investigators dug, the more they realized that Ria Mehta wasn't just a bride. She was a woman with secrets. Bank records showed that just 48 hours before the wedding, Ria had withdrawn 10 Indian rupees lakh in cash. But the money was never found. Who was it for? And why? Then they found a connection no one had expected: Ria's college years. A name resurfaced: Kunal Khanna. Kunal was Ria's classmate in Delhi. They had been close once, even rumored to have been in a serious relationship. But their love story had ended abruptly. Kunal had left for London. Or so everyone thought. In a bizarre twist, investigators discovered that Kunal had returned to India just days before Ria's wedding. And he hadn't left Mumbai since.
Was Kunal the Müster ios Keller?
Was he the man in the back seat of the white sedan? Or was this all just a terrible coincidence? Days turned into weeks.
The case lost momentum.
The media moved on to newer headlines. Ria's family, once hopeful, grew silent.
Arjun left for Delhi.
And Kunal? He vanished again. There were no ransom calls. No body was ever found. No trace of her lehenga.
No clues, no answers.
Just an empty street and a final phone call to a number that no longer existed. And so the case of the Vanishing Bride remains one of Mumbai's most chilling mysteries, a story of love, betrayal, and a disappearance that left more questions than answers. Eerie silence, followed by a low haunting note as the story ends. What do you think happened to Ria Mehta? Was she taken against her will? Did she plan her own escape? Or was this a crime hidden too well to be solved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Mumbai Crime Stories, where truth is stranger than fiction. Every week we bring you gripping real-life crime cases that you've never heard before. Stories buried in forgotten police files, lost in the chaos of breaking news, or hidden behind closed doors. These cases are handpicked, researched, and brought to you with chilling details that will keep you on the edge of your seat. If you love unsolved mysteries, detective-style investigations, and crime stories that make you question everything, then hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you never miss a story. And now we turn to you, our investigators. What do you think really happened in this case? If this file landed on your desk, what would be your next move? Drop your theories in the comments below. Let's crack this mystery together.